Do you want a simple tool that will cut through most misunderstandings and bullshit like right away? I'm Melissa D from Body Joy Intimacy School, and welcome. I'm going to be talking about a very small, easy, but mighty sentence stem that usually will cut through any bullshit, any misunderstanding, any kind of harsh feelings and made up stories that a lot of us carry around, especially if you haven't done a ton of inner work. And even if you have done inner work, I know a lot of people that find this extremely useful in just cutting through the bullshit. Okay, so if you are someone that has ever been disappointed by someone's actions, maybe they left the house without doing something that you were hoping that would happen, or you were at a party and you were feeling left out, or you saw them connecting with someone else and you made up a story in your head about what was going on. Anyway, this can work for a lot of things in life. And so let me give some examples of how you could use this simple tool. Okay, so yeah, if there's an interaction and you are upset about how it went down, instead of coming in and going, you did this and you made me angry and you didn't take out the trash and how could you be so insensitive, you actually find out what is actually going on without putting blame on them. And so the simple sentence that you do instead of doing the other thing is, the story that I'm making up about blank is, and you share. So let's get into like how you would do this, because if you haven't done it before and you don't have a lot of practice in it, it takes a little bit of practice and understanding. So for example, this is a great one. So I used to work at a restaurant and someone came barging in one day and they like flipped through the restaurant, did all this thing, left the door wide open, and then went out the back door. Now, in my mind, I was thinking, how could someone be so disrespectful? Or why didn't they pay attention to the air coming in? Like, I was just critiquing on what they were doing. So instead of talking shit or going to someone else and complaining or treating them as though they did what I thought they did as being disrespectful and not paying attention, what I did is I went straight up to them and I said, the story that I'm making about you rushing into the restaurant and leaving the door wide open is that you don't care about what's happening here. And actually, when you share the story that I'm making up about whatever, you're giving the person an opportunity to see on the table what story you're actually creating based on their actions, and then they can let you know what's true and what's not. Because oftentimes when there's conflict, like, someone not taking out the trash or someone not doing an expectation or someone speaking in a certain way, if we have that inner dialogue that goes off inside and we don't share that, then we're not actually giving the person the opportunity to really say what the truth is. And we're creating, again, more bullshit that doesn't help anybody. So that person could then respond instead of being attacked by me. They can go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't think of that. I actually was late to work and I wasn't thinking and I didn't know the door was wide open. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. And then we can have it be dissipated. Another tool is, say you live with your partner and they don't take the trash out and they didn't do the dishes in the morning and they left a bunch of shit in the sink. So instead of going, how could this person just be so sloppy, or why didn't they do that? Because that happens in partnership a lot, is we start nitpicking our partner and we start critiquing what they're doing and we make up stories again, like, oh, they don't like me, or they're not paying attention, or they don't love me, or I do too much and I'm sick of doing their dishes, whatever the thing is. We actually give them an opportunity to let them know and let them respond to whatever story we're making up in our head. So say I'm pissed about, the dishes being in the sink and all this shit. And so when my partner gets back, instead of saying, you did this and you didn't do that and rah, 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 and you don't care, start by saying, the story that I'm making up about you not doing your dishes and not taking out the trash is that you don't pull your own weight in the house. And they can go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was running late. Again, they're sharing the truth of what happened. I was running late and I didn't have time to do those things. I'm so sorry. So they can hear the impact of what their actions did. They can tell you the truth instead of the story, or they can validate your feelings. So I hope that was useful for you. So next time someone does something or someone acts a certain way, instead of charging at them as though that story is true in your head, you can give them an opportunity to let you know what is bullshit, what is total bullshit, because we make up a lot of bullshit, and what's actually true. And actually, before I go, I'll tell you one more fun story that happened this weekend. So this would have been really useful for this couple that I saw. I was talking to the woman and we were having a really lively conversation. She was also talking with the guy that I was with, my date, and we were all just like really connecting and having a great time. Well, later she came up to me and said, that guy that I'm on a date with thought that I was going to go home with the two of you. And I thought, oh, wow, what an interesting story that was mulling around in his head. Well, she could have went up to him and said, hey, or he could have went up to her and said, hey, the story that I'm making up right now is that you're going to go home with that other couple because you seem to be enjoying the conversation. You seem to be having a lot of fun. But instead, he went up and said, I can't believe you're talking to them. You're going to leave me. He was just spewing bullshit instead of just letting his feelings be revealed and just saying, admitting that there's a story going on and that giving her a chance to respond and let him know what the actual truth was. So have you ever been in a situation where you're making up a story? Well, now you've got a simple solution on bringing it. The story that I'm making up about you, about the situation, about the trash not going out, about whatever, fill in the blank, is blank, and then you can give that person the response or a chance to respond. Okay, I hope that was useful. Take care.